Got the double dubs next week. Graham Mertz season. Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT, and we're on to next week.
Yes,
Let's go! What's poppin', y'all? It's your man, Cloutboy Bells, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Call. Today, I have a special guest here with me. It is Travis Leiterman. He's one of my buddies from Eau Claire. He's a manager of the football team, and really, he's a sports expert. So I figured I'd have him on my show to watch the game, just come over, watch the game, and talk about some of the highlights of today's win. Well, if it was technically a good win, but yeah.
Hey, a win's a win, man. I mean, It doesn't matter how you get it. I mean, people like to bash us on how we went 13-3 last year, but they're all ugly wins. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But we won.
Yeah, I mean, this game did remind me of a lot of what happened last year. But winning ugly, was our thing last year. And, we were able to, but the most important thing is we were able to pull through, and dubs are dubs. That's what matters. Regardless of this game, I'd say Rodgers primarily had a good game. He passed over 300 yards, threw for 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and then, we had 2 turnovers in this game. Rodgers threw a pick. Devontae Adams had a fumble. A lot of people were ripping on Adams because obviously he made the claims saying he was a number 1 wide receiver. He was like saying he was the best in the league, but he did have a touchdown today, so I give him credit. I mean, every time I wear this jersey, something special happens,
And I was afraid because anytime I wear this jersey, something bad happens with the Packers because, I don't know, they just seem to play it like complete crap.
Well, they did. I'm not going to lie. They didn't even play that well today. I mean, there were so many miscues that led to so many Jacksonville scores. Like
the special... Actually, wait, no. Before I get into that, I just want to say this team is like a Jekyll and Hyde. Like, you don't know whether you're going to get Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. Because, what was it, last week? We had a pretty big blowout win against the 49ers.
Right.
And everybody was firing on all cylinders. The week before that, flat.
Right.
It's, you don't know what, like, if it was a meme tier, it'd be chaotic evil. Like, you just don't know what the hell you're going to expect.
I don't know it's weird. I mean, I'll be honest, James Robinson is I think he's a very underrated running back, and I think he's very shifty. I was very impressed with him. Wouldn't say he's not Dalvin Cook, but he still went over 100 yards. So I think the run defense still needs to really work on what they need to work on, because if the run defense can't do what they're doing, we're not winning a Super Bowl, and that's really the pinnacle of this whole thing. We gotta keep the run defense has to maintain its position and stop the run. I want to see Kamal Martin in there a lot more.
Kamal, he had one big play, I think, earlier in the game when he just came in, just blew up a blocker, and that made you and I jump out of our seats when we saw that.
I agree. We obviously for Jake Luton, he had himself a pretty average day. He was only over 100 yards. He wasn't really connecting with many of his wide receivers. He did throw a touchdown to Keelan Cole and 1 pick to Adrian Amos.
It was kind of like...
It just was average.
It's what you expect from a rookie in his first start, especially a late-round rookie.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone was thinking... he did have a pretty average performance last week, too, a touchdown and a pick. So, Luton is not I knew this was going to be a win, but, it happened to be close. But I feel like we should get into the miscues, which is the only reason why, this game was, the game that it was in the first place. But regardless, the punt return for a touchdown, I think, definitely changed the game.
We should talk about that. Because, I have a lot. Well, one, like, people like to get on J.K. Scott, but okay, that was a booming punt, but that should not have been a line drive punt, which that was a line drive punt.
Right.
And then, but what ticked me off most about that punt though was and I would sit in special teams, huge part of the game.
Oh, crap.
Like, special teams, huge part of the game, and you need positioning. And I didn't see the first two punts, I was like, where are the gunners at? Like, he outkicked his punt, but then I saw 5 guys, like, in a straight line. When you're going out for a punt return, it should be a net.
Right.
And I shouldn't see, like, 5 guys in a little Congo line.
Right.
Like, because, okay, the punt return should not even make it to J.K. Scott to begin with, but J.K. Scott should have harnessed his inner Pat McAfee and just laid that dude out.
I think he just didn't want to risk it. Like, I mean, he didn't want to. We've already suffered as much injuries as we could. We couldn't afford to lose our punter. I mean, I wouldn't say he had the greatest game either, because the last punt after we got stopped on that 3rd down, like, he punted that, and that went into the 50s. So that could have put them really deep in our territory, but if it wasn't for Rashawn Gary, I don't know where we would have been.
Dude, Rashawn Gary harnessed the powers of Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor for, like, the final 3 plays.
Yeah.
And that's that potential, like, that they were talking about. Like,
I agree.
Gary is falling a lot, but honestly, that turf did not look the best today. Right. Everybody was slipping and sliding. Like, that one Jags defender, which gave Bobby Tonyan that ball, but no, every time I'm watching Gary play, he's always so close to getting that sack.
Right.
He's putting pressure. He's getting pressure. And people like to look at his stats from Michigan, but honestly, you watch the film, he's getting double and triple team all the time in Michigan. He did what he was supposed to do. And he's doing what he's supposed to do right now. And obviously the coaches and the players like him, so.
Michigan.
Yeah, Sean Gary went.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Duh. I'm sorry. I thought you were shifting to college football for a moment. Yeah.
No, I'm just like, because you remember when we drafted, there was a lot of critics
going, saying we should have got,
But, like, right now, he's having games, but he needs to strain it to be consistent.
Right. I agree. I absolutely agree.
He's getting production now, which he didn't have last season, but.
Yeah, I want to really see him get production, because it's hard having Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith in there. You know, you're not going to give him opportunities, but.
Preston, he just looked lazy today. Like, I don't know.
I agree.
Like, he's been looking lazy all season, but.
I mean, I want to see him do more. I mean, last year he was outstanding. I don't know what happened this year. He just hasn't looked the same. Just isn't right. Want to see him. I want to see him do more. I just it worries me a little bit, but it's what matters. Sorry, what did you say?
Oh no, I was gonna let you speak, but I was gonna say if we were on the topic of punters, I think special teams played like a very crucial role in deciding this game, because you saw the Jags punter.
Yeah,
he was bombing punts inside the 5, and then that one punt that almost like snuck inside,
right. From what I know, I definitely the big surprise was when we started out the game, we didn't score any points in the first quarter, and I was thinking I was a little bit worried. Sorry, I had Brandon Ayuk in fantasy and he scored a touchdown. I just had him. I love fantasy football. Anyways, speaking of wide receivers, I figured let's just go into the category of Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Career day in receiving yards, 4 catches for 146 yards and a tutty. But I mean, if we see this Valdes-Scantling that we saw today, I feel like, and of course you get Lazard back next week, I see we definitely got a good trio of wide receivers along with Bobby Tonyan.
Yeah, no, Lazard coming back is going to be huge, I think, for Rodgers.
Yeah.
And Scantling, Scantling, I have a love-hate relationship with you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you remind me so much of Torrey Smith.
Yeah.
Like, just only route is go deep. Like, I love Scantling. Like, he can be a really big fantasy guy for you, but to keep it real, he needs to work on his medium and short route catches.
Right.
But right now, he's a one-trick pony, and it's a dang good trick. Cause,
I agree.
But it's like him and Devontae Adams switch bodies like this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really weird. So, anyways, I feel like we kind of talked about all the points in the game. That's what you think, because I feel like I should get to a couple other things. But first off, David Bakhtiari, he signed. A lot of people don't know this, but last night he actually signed an extension, a 4-year extension, making him the largest paid offensive lineman in the league.
And I should pull this up right now because I want to see what the contract details were.
That's a good thing. Obviously, while he boils this up, I figured I'd put into context that offensive linemen are way more valuable and important in football.
So it's a 4-year extension worth up to $105.5 million in new money. He is now the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. At its base, it's $23 million per year and could reach to $23.5 million per year.
Interesting.
So he's getting paid. That's
big bucks.
That's a lot of beers he can be chugging at Bucks games.
Yeah, when fans are back, he'll be back chugging beers. So I definitely didn't want to see him go, but I would have rather re-signed him. So obviously with that means that in free agency, Corey Linsley is going to become a free agent, and so is Aaron Jones. So it's probably going to be either one of those two that we sign to a big contract, because obviously things are going to come later, and maybe obviously next year could be Rodgers' last year in Green Bay. So you never know what's going to happen. So
and it's interesting because me personally, I am not a fan of Corey Linsley.
Yeah.
But I'm also willing to admit that he's probably one of the best centers in the league.
Yeah.
So, and it's really hard to find a really good center.
Right.
It's really hard to find a really good lineman at that certain position.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think we should lock him down, especially if he's entering his prime years.
Right.
And especially in this league, there's always going to be guys like Aaron Jones.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you never know what's going to happen. Like when they locked down Todd Gurley for that big extension, he all of a sudden had arthritis in his knee.
Right.
And look at Saquon Barkley.
He's just been injured. Like a DeMarco Murray, one of the best led the league in rushing in 2014, and then he retires because he's benched for Derrick Henry. That's just what happens.
Derrick Henry is an old school running back. He'll be around because, he's a man amongst boys.
Right, he is.
Man amongst boys. But I feel like we can plug, when we had Ty Montgomery, it felt like we could plug him in there and he'd still do a serviceable job for us. But I feel like the Packers are in that position where last year it felt like we had the talent to make a deep playoff run, but the talent gap between us and the 49ers was so big that they're trying to rebuild but reload at the same time. So I think that's what this draft was about, because A.J. Dillon is going to be like the next Jamal Williams.
Right.
But we still need to find that versatile back for Aaron Jones.
I think that's the thing. Anyways, going in, obviously, we'll pause on talking about next week, but tomorrow night, a big game. We have the Bears taking on the Vikings. Who do you see taking home that game?
Oh, that's tough. Both teams are trash. But, I don't know. I really like Justin Jefferson, but I don't know. The Bears are kind of on a losing streak right now.
Yeah.
And
the Bears, they always seem to beat the Vikings. They know how to attack Kirk Cousins. If the Bears have one of the best defenses in the league still. Like their defense is still pretty good.
Like they lost a couple players, but it's still a legit defense.
Like they've been holding a lot of the good teams under a couple points, like held into a couple touchdowns. But if they had a, I mean, no offense to Nick Foles, but his offensive line is trash and they can't protect him. So it's just they gotta really work at it.
This offense could not score if its life depended on it.
Even if Allen Robinson was a top wide receiver in the league, which in my opinion I think he's very talented.
Which it's going to be interesting to see because the Vikings have a lot of talent, which I think it's just a coaching issue at this point for them. But
to be honest with you, here's my prediction: if Dalvin Cook is held by the Bears will win. If not, then the Vikings will win. Yeah. But in all honesty, I'm going to actually take the Vikings. I
agree with that one too.
Like, from what I see, the Vikings, Dalvin Cook is the best running back in the league right now. Nobody can surpass this guy. He's outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. And that, plus, it also depends, like, which Kirk Cousins are you going to get? Are you going to get the you like that?
Yeah. Or are you going to get the
5 INT?
Yeah, but usually against a good defense, the Vikings seem to not really play well, so it's really going to depend on if Vikings offense can play like the way they've played. Mm-hmm. If not, then the Bears will win. But I don't know if I really want to see the Vikings win, because here's the thing. The Vikings got, by the end of November, leading up to, because the Vikings still have to play the Saints and the Tampa Bay Bucks. And I don't know if they'll win those games, but coming up to this, if they keep on this winning streak, they're going to be 7-5.
And they're losing their chance at Justin Fields if they really don't like Kirk Cousins that much.
That's the thing. I'm like, this could actually benefit, because like if they keep winning games, then they're not going to have a top pick, which was what they were originally looking like. Mm-hmm. But
And going to this draft, it's a weird year because, in my opinion, I think this is like one of the most important drafts in this upcoming year for all teams.
Right.
And I mean, obviously for us, we need a receiver, but receivers don't develop overnight, and I think that's why they didn't go with a receiver this year.
Okay, so to finish up, what are your thoughts for next week's game? So we play the Colts in Indianapolis. This is going to be, they flex the game till 3:25, so I assume we get to hear those annoying dudes in the booth. So
yeah.
Anyways, what do you think is going to be like the keys to winning this game?
The key to win this game is that offense is going to have to get on page. I think a lot of people like to bash our defense, but I think our defense has been doing enough this season.
Right.
Like, especially if you were bashing this defense this game, but really they only allow like one touchdown.
Right.
But our defense they'll get the job done when it matters, and I have faith in our defense. I have faith in Pettin. I know that's a very unpopular opinion to say right now, but I have faith in Pettin's defense.
That's good.
But I think the offense will show up next week, and I think Lazard coming back will have a huge.
I think he's going to be back next week. I'm pretty positive. Everyone thought he was going to be back today, but we've learned from this season that the coaching staff doesn't really like to put players in.
Oh no, we've seen that with Adams. We've seen that with Jones. Like this,
Bakhtiari.
This coaching staff has been really conservative with, and
right.
Which I mean, if you're winning, you don't really need to put your players back out that early.
I mean, that's exactly why we decided not to start Jaire Alexander and Kevin King today, because we need them for a more important game next week.
Which, can I add on to that? I think there was a huge difference when we didn't see Jaire Alexander out there, because, like, I remember when Alexander got to Green Bay, he just brought that swag. He brought that attitude. I didn't see any of that swagger attitude today.
Right. And hopefully we'll get him back next week, because we need someone to take care of T.Y. Hilton. So.
Oh yeah. Phillip Rivers too has been he was balling today.
And that's the problem. Phillip Rivers, every time we played Phillip Rivers, he always seems to go off on our defense. And it's always concerning. Like, I feel like most people are going to pick the Colts to win, but if Aaron Rodgers plays, if we get our weapons back and our offense really clicks, I think we should win. We could actually win this game. I mean,
as long as we don't, I think we got our bad game out of the way. Like this was a trap game.
Yeah,
big trap game. But I think it was really good to get this bad game out of the way because every team's going to have those bad days, and because not every game is going to be a walkthrough, but and this game definitely wasn't.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see where we go. Obviously, this second half of the schedule might be a little tougher because we got to play the Colts, who have a great defense. We got to play the Bears, who have a great defense. And I feel like we probably would beat the Bears because it's Sunday Night Football and it's at home. But
it's the Bears.
Yeah, it's the Bears because the Bears still suck.
Aaron Rodgers just owns the Bears.
And we have to. There's a lot of tough games. I mean, we still got to play Detroit on the road, and we always struggle in there. We got to play Bears on the road still. Again, I mean, playing the Bears twice is tough enough as it is. Mm-hmm. And then we also have to play the Tennessee Titans.
And who have Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And our running defense is
right.
I mean, hopefully Kenny Clark can have a monster game out there.
That's what I'm hoping. I mean, that's another Sunday Night Football game. So,
but no win is going to come easy in the NFL. I think this game just proves it. Like, no matter what team, no matter like what team name is on the schedule, the fact is they're all in the NFL. They're all professionals, and at any given point in time, it can just click. Like, it just felt like Murphy's Law. Like, whatever could go wrong could for the Packers, but we still...
like that thing keeps going off.
Yeah. But it just felt like Murphy's Law where everything could go wrong did for the Packers, but we did a good job overcoming that adversity. And Rashawn Gary harnessing the powers of true Packer greats.
Right. That's what we need.
And Reggie White coming back from the dead and injecting himself into Rashawn Gary's corpse.
Yep,
and just demolishing that line.
Yeah, so what a weekend for Wisconsin. A big win against Michigan on the road, and then we get the win today. I mean, that's what you want. And then hopefully in the NBA draft, the Bucks get somebody good. So
only 5 days till Giannis can sign that extension.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So anyway, subscribe below, and obviously make sure you share this content. Obviously, I'll be making more videos about the NBA draft and things about that, but hopefully things go by smoothly and COVID doesn't ruin the NFL. Anyways, this is Travis, and this is Clockboy Bales signing off. Please be smart and please be safe, and go Pack Go. We'll see you next time.
Go Pack Go, baby.